Meteorologist Matthew East here with you, and this is the Christmas Eve edition of the Carolina weather video here, as we're looking at a pretty big disruptive storm system across the lower 48, and one that's going to be causing a lot of problems in a lot of places here. So let's get on into the video for today. A lot to talk about. We'll talk about some freezing rain in portions of the Piedmont and the foothills, certainly the mountains as we go through late tonight and Christmas morning, and then the system next week as well. So let's start off with what's going on this morning. And boy, this is a big-time storm system across a lot of places, and in the lower 48. This is the radar this morning from about 5:15, and a couple areas where there's been some heavy snow occurring. One in the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandle regions, and another area where there's been some heavy snow in the Midwest states. Also notice severe weather, a problem, and it has been a problem beginning even yesterday evening. Look at all of the winter weather and even blizzard warnings and advisories in place here, and that is pretty much all of these areas you see from the front range of the Rockies down to Texas and then up through the western Great Lakes region. Then you get into the severe part of the system, flooding also a problem, and we're waiting in the wings here for that system to pull in here late tonight and into Christmas Day. Let's highlight what's going on now. Again, there's that area of heavy snow over the Midwest and the western Great Lakes region. There's been some icy mixture for places like Milwaukee and Chicago this morning. Heavy rain, much of Arkansas, the Missouri Boot Hill, down into parts of eastern Texas and Louisiana. Severe weather still a concern, and more heavy snow back in northern Texas and western Oklahoma. And all those red dots you see there in eastern Texas, that's where there's been reports of tornadoes. Unfortunately, damage has been reported. And not a good situation there with the severe weather, and the severe weather threat continues today. Now look at the temperatures. These are current temps here, 5 a.m. temperatures. A couple things to point out to you. Big bubble of warmth right ahead of the system that's fueling the severe weather threat. Cold air wedging down the eastern side of the mountains. That'll fuel the freezing rain potential in parts of the region as we go through late tonight. And a fresh push of cold Arctic air that's going to plunge through the eastern part of the country, and that will be here by late this weekend and especially early next week. This is a look at the day 1 and 2, so today and tomorrow, rainfall or liquid equivalent rainfall accumulations here. And again, notice the heavy rains. Lots already fallen, and we're talking an additional 3 to 4 inches in the Ozarks. And around our region, this looks like a decent little rain event, 1 to maybe locally a couple 2-inch rain amounts as this system pulls on through. So let's get into the modeling. This is the 6C run of the GFS. And you're looking at a significant low pressure area cranking over Arkansas, all this stuff back in the colder side of the system. This is heavy snow. And there'll be blizzard conditions if your travel plans take you to places like western Oklahoma, eventually Oklahoma City, up toward many spots in the upper Midwest and the western Great Lakes. A lot of problems, severe weather problem in the warm sector portion of this system. And again, there's your day 1 severe weather outlook. Louisiana, southern Arkansas, much of Mississippi, southern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, all under the risk for severe weather today. Now let's go to tonight. This is 1 a.m. Christmas morning. Low pressure moving into Missouri. Heavy snow on the backside of that. The precip moving through North Georgia into the western Carolinas, and waiting for the precip, you have this cold, dry air that's getting wedged down into the mountains and just east of the mountains, and that air mass cold enough that there'll be a period of freezing rain in some spots. Let me sort of take you through this event, then I'll show you the freezing rain portion of the system. This is 7 a.m. Christmas morning as everybody's waking up and sort of checking things out there on Christmas morning. You're looking at rain pushing into the region, and where it's cold enough, some freezing rain, and then I think most everyone kicks over to just plain rain. This is 1 o'clock Christmas Day tomorrow, and I think everyone's really just looking at plain rain. Could be some thunderstorms, I-95 and points eastward tomorrow, and then this system sweeps on out by the evening time on Christmas Day. All right, let me take you through a couple of the models here. This is the WRF model, and this is valid 7 o'clock in the morning, Christmas Day, tomorrow morning. The pink shades here, that is where the model is picking up on that freezing rain potential. And then notice by the time we get to noon, everyone in the state of North Carolina being indicated is warm enough for just rain, and even some thunderstorms a possibility in the southern Piedmont as this system pulls on through. The Canadian, a very good agreement here. This is the Canadian, valid 3 a.m. Christmas morning. The red shading, again, that's freezing rain potential, but by 7 a.m., just a few pockets of freezing rain left, with most everyone having switched over to just plain rain. So this is where the HPC has outlined the slight area of potential for at least a quarter inch of ice accumulation. That's the foothills and the extreme northwestern Piedmont, and of course the mountains as well. So this is the warning and advisory situation this morning. The deeper shade of purple, including places like Mount Airy, Boone, Banner Elk, Jefferson. That's an ice storm warning late tonight into Christmas morning, rather. And surrounding that area, the lighter pink shaded counties, Yadkin County, Stokes County, Cleveland County, Catawba County, Iredell County, back toward Asheville, that's a freezing rain advisory. Generally some minor accumulations of freezing rain possible in that freezing rain advisory area. The more significant ice accumulations would be in the ice storm warning area, northern foothills into the mountains. In that area, could see at least a quarter inch, maybe a half inch of ice before things switch over to rain in the mountains and the foothills. So that could be a decent little quick hitting ice event. Could be some problems certainly up that way Christmas morning. Lesser problems when you get out toward the Piedmont region. In fact, at Charlotte, we'll just see rain. The Triad, maybe a brief period of freezing rain, but that would only be some icing on elevated surfaces. I think pretty quickly temperatures get above freezing in the Triad. But in the northwestern part of the Triad area, Mount Airy, Surrey County especially, points north and west, could be some icing issues as we get to Christmas morning. And again, the thunderstorm chance, southern Piedmont over toward the coastal plain, the Sandhills, could see some decent thunderstorm activity. Severe weather threat pretty limited, but certainly some rumbles of thunder are possible with the system pulling on through. Now let's quickly scoot through next week. First of all, Saturday is quiet. Sunday is quiet, but we begin to see that push of colder air move in. Monday looks like a pretty chilly day. At best, low to mid 40s for highs as that cold air settles in. And here we go. Tuesday, this is again the GFS. Tuesday, notice the next system gathering itself back in that region. And the GFS, this is the 0Z run here, really suppresses this off to the south. The European tells a much different story. It is much more developed with that area of low pressure. This is a look at Thursday morning, 7 a.m. on the European. A nice cold air damming signature, low pressure moving in, and the European continues to indicate a wintry weather threat around here around New Year's Eve. And I don't necessarily think the GFS suppressed idea is correct. I would lean more toward the European in this range. So I still think there's definitely the potential for some wintry weather around the region by late Wednesday, especially Wednesday night into Thursday, though, of next week. And again, this is what the GFS did on its 0Z run. I don't think really it handled everything very correctly with that system pushing through around New Year's Eve. So I would take this with a grain of salt, but it really bombs a coastal low Saturday evening, the 2nd. That'd be snow in the Carolinas, and then another system right on its heels here, the 6th, Wednesday the 6th, and that would be snow moving through Alabama, Mississippi, North Georgia, upstate of South Carolina, much of North Carolina. So certainly, again, I think the potential is still very much there for a very active and exciting pattern next week into the first week to 10 days at least of January. So that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. No video tomorrow or over the weekend. There will be a new video on Monday morning, though. I wish all of you and yours just the warmest and merriest of Christmases, and enjoy the Christmas with friends and family, whoever you're spending it with. Have a great holiday weekend, and God bless.